Now, they say that Nigerian politics follows power. Take it and the politicians will support you. And true to type, 2 years into President Tinubu's first term, politicians of every shade have been seduced by that power. And the rump of the opposition is struggling with how to counter the APC juggernauts that's thundering through their ranks. It's left many who still remain in the PDP shell-shocked, with their world slowly but steadily shrinking and on the brink of imploding. Today, the APC in Delta State welcomed their newest members, consisting of the entire PDP structure in the state, from the governor all the way down to the local government chairman. So, along with the uncertainty, the question now is, will the PDP survive, or will this be a total meltdown? And for those who've been carpet crossing in droves from the opposition to the ruling party, have they gone too far? What happens if something goes wrong and their expectations are not met? Well, for more on this, I'm joined now from our studios in Lagos by Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa, who was the NESG, Nigerian Economic Summit Group chairman. He's a well-known businessman. He was a former presidential candidate, and aspirant, and he's a leading member of the PDP. Mazi Sam, thank you very much indeed for joining us, and apologies for the time that it's taken to come to you. We overran with the first interview, and then we had a bit of a technical hitch. But I don't know if you heard or read the statement from Bayo Onanuga, who's the presidential spokesman. He said the moves to form a coalition had failed to gain traction, and that the opposition is disorganized, and that is why members of the opposition are moving into the ruling party. I mean, what is your reaction to that? How strong an argument is that?
Well, Bayo has a right to gloat, because that's what it looks like. People are running from the opposition to the ruling party. But as somebody said, I think what is developing is that we're going to have the party against the people. Maybe what somebody said, the politicians against the people. It's going to be the people against the politicians, because it's clear that the politicians have let the people down. They are seeking their own comfort and their own safety without bothering much what is happening to the people that voted them into power in the first place, or the people that supported them. It's a shame what is going on. It rumbles my stomach, and actually makes me wonder why one would want to be associated with politics in Nigeria. We came into politics knowing that there was a need for ideological differentiation of political parties based on values and based on vision and mission and what they wanted to achieve that would make the life of the people better. But we'll find that a party that won the election without justification. There was no reason APC would have won in 2023, given the performance of the party in the previous 8 years. Anywhere in the world, there was no way they would have won. But it just shows that, as I've written in many books, including the one that is coming very soon, Nigerian political culture is such a confused system that you cannot drive anything that is logical. So what is happening is it's heart-rending, but we will see how it will end. I don't think it will end well for those who think the best thing is for everybody to coalesce into one party and refuse to play the role they're expected to play in shaping government and guiding the government in power to focus on doing what is good for the people.
Well, let's try and analyze this a little bit further in the little time that we've got left. And I apologize again that all that sort of got gobbled by other things. I mean, you've always been very measured in your assessments, and listening to you now, that also confirms that sense. Is the PDP, in your assessment, in such a bad shape that anyone with any political ambition would be foolhardy to remain in the party? Because basically your goose would be cooked politically if you did. I mean, that's essentially what Mr. Onanuga is saying, you know, but with different words.
Well, it's in the eyes, in the logical way and the logical thought process of politics where numbers count, and potently in the Nigerian political culture where money is the major determinant. You will agree that the party itself, as it stands before now, is loaded. They're in government in power, and every effort is being made to create all the enablers to make them win the election. Now you are having governors moving and political who also bring in additional support in terms of resources and numbers. So it's logical to think that way. But what I'm telling anybody who cares or listen is that when things begin to happen this way, there's something we may not see. And for me, there's going to be surprises for all of us in 2027. So I do not write off PDP. I can't write off PDP. I can't write off any party. I mean, like we said, look at what Labour did in 2027. Who knew that Labour could, you know, become such a significant party in a couple of weeks or months? And we still have a long way to 2027, about 2 years. So nobody should write off. And you know the way the streams move. The drift is on one side. You will never be surprised that the drift can reverse. So I think that this is a great opportunity for PDP itself to reformat and reinvent itself. That Nigerians are looking for a party that will provide alternative to the ruling party. And my proposition is that PDP should go back to its constitution, go back to its principles that made it come to power and govern for 16 years. Go back to those things that made it work. Return to some bit of ideology and discipline and begin to talk about the things that are affecting Nigerians today. The poverty that is overarching, the macroeconomic situation we have in our country, where there's inflation, where there's high inflation, where the misery index is going up, interest rates are escalating every day, and where purchasing power is becoming very, very, very low. PDP has an opportunity to begin to tell Nigerians there's an alternative way to manage the economy, to manage the politics, to manage the structure better than we're doing. Listening to Akim, who was inside Aso Rock, coming out to tell us that it is hollow inside. It gives PDP and any serious party to strategize on how to provide alternative for Nigerians from the 27 and other of years to come. That's my thinking. PDP cannot be written off.
Right. Okay.
Yes, things are difficult, but they can recover itself.
Just very briefly, because sadly we're almost out of time, what about the constitutional rule that you lose your seat if you defect from one party to another? I mean, what happens to all these members on the, you know, the national and state assemblies who've defected? I mean, do you think they should get to keep their seats?
See, until a country or a group of people believe in principles, believe in respecting their constitutions and their laws, that group, that country isn't going anywhere. Part of the problem of PDP today was that they abandoned their principles and their constitution. Nigeria is doing the same. The law says that if you do not have any approvable reason to leave your party, especially if you've been elected, you lose your seat. But we're joking with it. Can the governor of Delta State tell us why he is leaving? What is his problem? So he cannot go and tell the people to vote him on the platform of PDP. And it is parties that win elections according to the law, not individuals. So PDP has won election in Delta and in other states, and the guys just wake up overnight and declare for another party. It is, for me, fraudulent. It is criminal. It is absolutely an insult to the constituents and the people who voted them.
Right.
If you think a party is no longer good for you, resign and go back and compete. So I think they should quietly leave, resign the offices,
right,
or someday they will face the consequences of this fraudulent action, as I call it.
Mazi Sam, I apologize that we ate into your time there, but thank you very much indeed for joining us, and do come back and talk to us again. And Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa is a politician, business executive, former presidential aspirant, and a leading member of the PDP. He was talking to me from our studios in Lagos. That's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and Lagos, thank you very much indeed for watching. Bye-bye.